What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and I've got a little bit more of a traditional video for you guys here. Old school 2011 Call of Duty commentary, and we don't have the camera, guys, because we're going back. We're just going to take it back traditional with this commentary, and I'm going to just chat to you guys about something that I found out earlier on today, which is kind of a big deal when it comes to Call of Duty. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's not that much of a big deal because we've already moved on to next gen and people should be getting onto next gen, which I've heard this argument a lot, but it's not always that simple. It's just not when it comes down to money. Not everybody can afford to go next gen. I'm lucky enough, I own 2 PlayStation 4s and an Xbox One and a decent PC and a PlayStation 3 and a Wii U. Now, that's not in any terms of bragging. I'm just saying I'm lucky enough to be able to afford those things. Not everybody is in that boat. And what I'm talking about basically is Black Ops 3 on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 will only be 30 frames per second. And a lot of people will say, well, that doesn't really matter. And I've always been the type of person, I'm not a PC elitist, even though I do have quite a decent PC. I've never really been too fussed over frame rates, really. I think if a game is hitting 30 frames standard, when it comes to a lot of games, when it comes to a first-person shooter, I really am in the section that I believe that it should be running at 60 frames per second because it just makes the experience so much better. And if you can go even higher than 60 frames, which on the PC you can do, it's all freaking awesome. But Call of Duty running at 30 frames per second is just like, it's crazy to me. Ever since Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, back in the day, we've been running at 60 frames per second, even on the old gen. I think it was only on some of the Wii games and maybe even the Wii U. But the Wii U has never even had a Call of Duty, actually, has it? Or has it? Yes, it has. It did. It did get a version, but I think they're the only ones that have never run at 60 frames per second because it's been more of a casual audience over there, and the system's just never really been designed for things like Call of Duty. But it's just like, it's crazy. So Beanox and Mercenary, who were developing the port for Black Ops 3, have came out with this announcement now that basically they've tried to get the game up to 60 frames per second. They've tried all they can, but without having to sacrifice major parts of the game, they don't really think they're going to be able to achieve it. And I was kind of surprised, but at the same time, when I started to think about it, I was thinking, well, really, with all the advancements that's in Black Ops 3, because it was specifically going to be the first Call of Duty, originally there was only going to be next gen, wasn't it? And I think that idea stuck, but then I think Activision may have stepped in and been like, no, we kind of want it to get out on all the consoles, which was obviously, business-wise, extra money, bigger player base, all that good stuff. But I think David Vonderhaar had the idea of, right, this is a next-gen only game, and they have been set with a task, the horrible task, basically, of having to port Black Ops 3 to the old-gen consoles. And this is where we're seeing the sacrifices made. We're going to see no campaign, which originally was going to happen, but it was just going to be 2-player. Now it's just no campaign whatsoever, which is freaking crazy as well when you think about it. I know most people don't play Call of Duty for the campaign, but that's one amazing thing that Call of Duty's always had. It's whatever anybody says about Call of Duty, it's got a large lifespan when it comes to the multiplayer. You've got plenty of DLC, however much it might cost. We don't need to get into that, but it's always had a campaign as well, and it's got a short campaign, maybe 6 to 8 hours, and some people will say the typical Call of Duty set piece type campaign, but they've never really been bad campaigns. They've always been a fun thing to do, and it's just been nice. If you ever had a situation where your internet was down, you could write or play a bit of campaign, but now that's kind of gone for the people on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. And now the fact that they'll only be running at 30 frames per second is it's just mind-boggling to me. And I just wanted to know what you guys think in the comment section as well, because I know a lot of you guys who are subscribed to my channel are looking forward to Black Ops 3. I know a lot of you guys were saying that, right, I don't have to buy a PlayStation 4 now because it's coming out on the old gen. What do you think about this? Is this going to be a thing that's going to make you push towards getting a PlayStation 4? Because believe me, it will make a massive difference playing Call of Duty at 30 frames. What you'll have to do is, when you get the game, play a bit of Advanced Warfare. I know, I'm not a fan, but play a bit of Advanced Warfare, see it running at 60 frames per second, and then jump onto Black Ops 3 and see it running at 30 frames per second, and you'll probably be startled by the difference, and a little bit like, damn, how can I do this? But yeah, I just wanted to know what you guys thought on it, because I think, as a Call of Duty fan, I've always liked Call of Duty, put off by Ghosts and Advanced Warfare, to be fair, but I'm really looking forward to Black Ops 3. I just think this was really big news when it comes to Call of Duty and shooters in general, because, like I said, Call of Duty's always run at 60 frames per second. Other shooters haven't so much on the old gen, but Call of Duty has always had that staple where no matter what they've done, they've always pushed for 60 frames per second, and that shows that now the last gen has kind of been abandoned, which a lot of us wanted and we expected, but at the same time, it shows that they were really pushed into, right, let's get a port out just for the money's sake, really. And it's just a shame that the people on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 are going to get this version of the game. But it was to be expected, and we can't keep expecting the next gen consoles, or the current gen, however you want to word it, to keep being hampered by the lack of power in the old gen consoles, even though we know the new gen consoles is not exactly mind-boggling in power. But games have been held back. The last two Call of Duties really did suffer from that, because the cross-platform, the cross-generation really slowed it down, and it's nice to see that Treyarch wanted to go straight next gen, and it's kind of sucky that people on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 weren't going to get it originally, but now are going to get it, but aren't going to get the true version of the game. I'll be interested to see what the price is looking at when it comes out. He probably won't, he's going to, I don't know when the actual launch date is for the old gen. It's not going to be on the same day, I don't expect, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I might actually look into that for you guys and let you know in the comment section. But anyway, make sure to let me know what you think about Black Ops 3 running at 30 frames per second on the last generation consoles, the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. As always, guys, you've been awesome. I've been Mr. Pixel Tree, and I will see you in the next one.